I think we are good to go.
Yeah, I think so.
Alright. So, recapping the events of the last session.
Recap. The ship sank. We all almost fucking died.
Yes. The ship sank. Most of you did a piss poor job swimming to shore.
Yep.
Shark Girl, I guess, just had a stroke of bad luck. The rest of you guys did very poorly swimming to shore, with the exception of Ursa and Aurora, who were able to work together, I guess, to swim to shore. And they...
It says Nick is in the call, but is he actually there? Because he's currently muted.
Yeah, Nick, you present? Are you muted for any particular reason?
So tiny.
I'm here.
Tiny little fingers. They're great.
Love
I love their little fingers. They always look like they're wearing fingerless gloves, which is just... They're so adorable.
Okay, no more possums.
Yeah,
We-
yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, we hear you.
Alright.
That possum is also really cute.
So, continuing with the recap. Most of you guys really struggled to get to shore. Alsumi basically had a goddamn panic attack and just went catatonic because he is terrified of the water. Let's see. Piper did okay. She managed to come out unscathed. Akula has a head injury, and Haley almost drowned. So, half of the party is in some state of injury, I guess you could say, or disorientation. The other half is okay at the moment. Ursa basically took charge of the situation and rounded you guys all up, and so you now are sheltered under some trees by a fire. It's still raining, though, and you guys are still kind of damp. Water still continues to drip through the tree leaves, so you're not dry, but dry enough. There's no combat
hold
this
on.
session.
Emma, almost
Yes.
forgot.
Yes?
Did you record this?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, thank God. I wasn't taking notes this time.
Yeah, I've been recording everything. I might edit this a little bit because there were a lot of noises, and not to mention I did record a little bit earlier. But I will post this when I'm done editing it a little bit.
Alright, just to keep the fire going.
Mhm.
You also don't really have like Aurora thought to bring her blanket out, only to remember that her blanket was soaked because her backpack was in the water and her books were ruined.
And she's
So-
very sad about it.
She is very sad about that.
But then Haley gave her a book.
Because he has a waterproof backpack, so
Oh yeah.
safe. So she felt bad for a while, so he was like, "Here you go, princess. You can keep it."
Oh.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot that Haley is more prepared for adventure than Aurora is.
Yeah, Aurora.
Yeah,
just, Aurora just ran.
But I also believe Harry took out a lighter, which made it more easier to make a fire. So yeah, she's prepared. You know, she's almost drowned. She was prepared.
Yeah. Alright. So, as far as you can tell, it seems to be nighttime, or at least, I'm going to say that between Ursa and Alsumi, they'd be able to determine probably what time of day it is, despite the storm. I'm not going to make you guys roll for that assessment. But you can tell that it's late, and it's raining. So what are you going to do?
Probably to like get some sleep, maybe, so that everyone can heal back up.
Alright.
I screwed up
everyone
my
will
swimming.
try-
I have short-term memory loss. I'm stuck around a fire in the middle of the jungle, and I have short-term memory loss. I'm going to sleep.
Fair enough. Alright, so if you
Aren't you
people...
now supposed to sleep within a concussion?
Oh, yeah. Ursa's reminding you that you shouldn't sleep because of your head injury. If you have a concussion, that could be bad.
Oh, right. I forgot about that.
Unless it doesn't apply to sharks.
I think that... I think concussions work just about the same with any
Do
creature
sharks even sleep?
that has a brain. Yeah, they do.
Alright then, we're all going to sleep. I'll take first watch.
Alright, Ursa's staying up to
Okay.
keep an eye on everyone. What about Akula? She's still gonna sleep?
Excuse me.
Yeah, yeah, I'm just gonna try anyway.
You're just gonna sleep anyway. Fuck it. I'm too tired to care. Alright then. So I'm gonna have each of you roll 1d6 to see how well you're able to sleep in these conditions. Sleeping on the wet ground, still being partially rained on, in an unfamiliar place.
Would that have to be like
1d6. You're not combining any of your skills for this one. Just roll 1d6.
okay?
Do I get any sort of buffer?
Jesus, Nick.
Sort of,
I will actually give Alsumi Alsumi, I'm actually just not going to make you roll. Your whole character is built around being a traveler, and you're very good and being like mindful and meditative and stuff. So you probably wouldn't have a problem sleeping just about anywhere. So I'm actually not going to make you roll for quality of sleep here.
Also, turn down the boost of your mic. Sounds like you're eating it.
Yeah, you're very loud.
I'm too loud.
Yes.
All right.
What about now?
Okay.
That's better.
Looks like you guys lucked out, and everyone gets a good night's sleep. I'll let you all heal up. If you have any damage done to your HP, people who roll a 5 can heal 1 HP, and people who roll a 6 can heal 2. I don't know if anyone has any HP damages, but I'll let you have that since you all rolled high. I mean, Nick technically rolled low, but I decided not to make him roll because of his character. So it wouldn't really make sense for him to struggle to sleep really anyway.
So then, can I heal 2 in that case?
Yeah, go ahead.
Alright. I'm now back up to full.
Alright, cool.
Mm-hmm.
So a few hours pass. The rain starts to let up while you guys are sleeping. And there starts to be a bit of morning sunlight peeking through. Alright, Ursa is currently the only person awake, but the storm is clearing up, and he can now see the sun. What do you do?
I abandoned everyone with the red ring. No, okay, let's see. You've been asleep for a couple hours?
Mm-hmm.
Alright, then I wake everybody up. And then, everybody wake up!
Oh.
Hey, I know my rights here. Oh, wait, it's just you.
You have no rights on a private island.
Jesus Christ.
Alright. I'd say we go inland, find out where the hell we are.
That's probably a good idea, yeah.
Good guess as any. I have no idea where we are anyway.
Sorry, quick question. Has anything, like, has, Aurora's backpack along with, like, her blanket, like, dry? Has it dried somewhat, or is it, like, still really
I
wet?
dried a bit. It's not soaking wet anymore. It's still damp. Everything's still damp, but it's no longer soaking.
Okay, she will put that back, she will get everything back into her backpack and safely put the book in.
To the best of her ability, to try to keep it safe.
Yeah.
Alright. So you guys decide to head north then.
Highly typing.
Yeah, I think we are. Oh, mind holding on to my stuff? That would be great, actually. This time.
It's no problem, Princess. My backpack is pretty big, so it could fit quite a few things. And plus, it'll be protected from getting ruined, so
Oh, thank you so much. That would be very appreciated.
it's no problem. Does anybody else want me to hold anything, or are we good?
We're good.
Okay, let's go.
Alright, I don't think I'm gonna change the map just yet, but we're just gonna say you guys start walking north through the trees. I want everyone to roll a notice check.
Notice.
It's gonna be brains plus notice.
Brains plus notice plus a roll.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Okay. Yeah.
Five.
Let's see.
It's a 5.
Plus a D6.
Yeah, D6.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I got a 6.
You get a 6 total.
Aurora got a 5.
And what are we supposed to add again? I'm sorry.
Brains and notice.
Thanks. No.
Oh,
No,
you got 11.
3. I think I got a 6. If I added everything right.
Alright, so Alsumi is the only person to notice some suspicious sounds in the woods. He'll turn to look, but not be able to see anything, but occasionally he can hear little rustling sounds and would sound like footsteps. They're very soft, and the rest of you don't notice them. I assume Alsumi is taking up the rear of the crew when he notices.
Upon noticing, I'm going to quietly gesture to Ursa and try to get Ursa to notice.
Alright.
Well, I'm still partially deaf, so I ain't gonna hear shit.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Ursa doesn't hear you quietly gesturing. And because he's up towards the front and you're back towards the back, he's not gonna notice you waving your hand. So if you want him to hear, you kinda have to speak up. Or just get closer to him.
I quicken my pace a little so that I can tap him on the shoulder,
Mm-hmm.
What?
and then I gesture with my eyes over where I saw the noise.
Yeah, it's a bush. What do you want?
I
You got to pee? Go pee.
put my hand next to my ear and mouth the word "listen."
Ursa's still deaf.
Yeah, I had guns go off in my ears 6 hours ago.
Oh, that's right. He can't hear it.
Yep, he's still
Most
hard
of
to
my
hear.
hearing has returned, but I couldn't hear it over the normal sounds.
Yeah.
What is it?
I'm going to tell him to brace himself.
Alright. Well, with that, everyone, you all get captured.
Oh.
What?
Large, heavy nets fly out and collapse over the crew. These nets are weighted down, and the material they're made out of isn't something that you're familiar with, but it's not something you can easily just break with your hands.
Just like my first volleyball tournament.
So the nets fall over you, and people emerge from the bush, tying the nets taut and trapping you all.
Question. Can the venom from my pincers get through whatever this net is made out of?
Not fast enough for it to matter.
Yeah, I was gonna say possibly, but it would take too long in this situation.
Can I just,
You're surrounded, so they would do
So
something.
they don't have enough time to react, really?
Yeah. Not really. You might have had time to react if it hadn't taken Alsumi so long to communicate to you guys what was going on.
Yeah.
Alsumi decided to pick the person who can't hear and then play a game of charades with them. It didn't really work out. So you all got captured.
didn't realize he was actually legitimately deaf at the moment.
just severely hard of hearing.
He's also like the oldest member of the group.
He is the oldest member and he is the leader, but if you had remembered that he had deafened himself intentionally last session, then he did, because of the sirens.
You talking about when he shot off a gun next to his ear?
Yes, that can
In
happen.
game, that was only like 8 hours ago.
Yeah, in game that was only a few hours ago. He would still be dealing with hearing loss.
Even after 8 hours?
You underestimate how
I-
loud a gunshot
I
is.
could have permanently damaged my hearing.
Yeah, a gunshot going off next to your ear can actually permanently deafen you. In this case, it probably won't, but he's still hard of hearing from that. But yeah, you didn't remember that detail and picked probably a bad person to try and communicate with.
Trying to be all fucking charadey. Just get to the point and say, hey, we're being followed.
Yeah.
They're already watching us. They don't care if you're trying to be stealthy.
Well, I'm going to say that on the way, as these people who've captured you start dragging you off, Ursa and Alsumi continue to have this argument inside the net about how Alsumi should have probably just said something outright, and he's like, oh, I was trying to be subtle so they wouldn't know we were onto them. And Ursa's like, why did you decide to be subtle with me? You just talk to someone who can hear.
And sure, now you decide to be subtle.
Yeah, you weren't subtle on the boat with the sirens.
Oh.
Do I have to separate you two?
You can't.
Why? Actually, you're the one who has a brain injury. You missed frickin' 5 o'clock radio.
Oh,
No, we're all...
Flashhead, shut up.
He just interrupted your friendship speech.
There is no friendship. There is only pain. Now, who the hell are you and why are you taking us?
They won't say anything. They don't respond to anything you say to them.
Can Aurora maybe try and do a check on if she knows what these people are?
You can do a. You can do Well, none of you guys know what this place is, or would know what this place is. But I'm gonna say you could do a notice to see if you could recognize any of their features.
Okay.
Okay. Can I use my slew of useless knowledge that I've gathered as a traveler?
So
Yeah, you can too. You can both do that.
that is an 8.
Alright, well, Aurora notices that all of the people that dragging you are women.
It's just another notice check?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well, whatever these women attacking us, they
I got a 7.
I got a 13.
8.
You're actually now a little bit too quiet, Nick. You were too loud before, and now you're a little too quiet and I struggle a bit when you
What
talk.
about now?
That's a bit better.
I
rolled a 13 for my notice.
Alright, let me delete Jesse's fire for a second.
No,
It's like,
it's needed.
it might take me a minute because you have to delete each line individually.
We accidentally let that fire going on the island. It's still going.
We grabbed the entire fire pit with us, and we're taking the fire pit with us.
You know how that would be done. I can't. Trying to picture that Looney Tunes ass shit in my head.
Reminds me of like if there's a bug in a video game where it classifies the fire as an item.
Yeah.
You just loot it. Okay, looks like he's got a gun, a walkie-talkie, and a fire. A what? A whole ass fire.
Just stuff that in the old pocket there.
What you doing there, laddie? You know you can't carry fire. That's illegal.
Alright, you guys. So, the women drag you up a hill to a part of the island where there is like a large structure. Basically, it looks like some kind of old temple or maybe some kind of castle. It's a bit hard to tell because it's falling apart, but it's only when you get inside that someone is finally willing to talk to you.
Did I notice anything?
Nope,
You
there's
noticed-
nothing else to notice. They're women.
They're all women. Actually, there's one other thing to observe, and that is that, well, the art here is not reflective. They all seem to be different races. Like, there's not one group, there's lots of random animals.
Are they naked?
They're dressed.
Aw.
Tell you what, some of them might have their titties. I mean, it is an island of women. I wouldn't be surprised if some of them just walk around with different
Dirty old
titties.
man powers activate!
So, there's probably some naked titties, but they do mostly wear clothes.
Aurora might.
Boobs.
Aurora's trying to keep her eye on the face.
There's also a lot of bare, uncovered hands, which is considered lewd for Mobians.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, I forgot the movie.
Under my breath.
All wear gloves.
Relax.
Bare hands are lewd.
Be careful, everyone. They're heathens.
I'm gonna take back what I said about the boobs. It's just bare hands. They just have lots of bare hands, which
Okay,
is
fair.
considered scandalous. They're mostly clothed, but they don't
Are
wear
any
gloves.
actually bears?
Yeah, probably. There's probably at least one.
They got bare hands.
How do Mobians feel about fingerless gloves?
Fingerless gloves
You
are
got a low cut top, you skank.
yeah, it's like wearing a top with lots of cleavage. You know?
Yeah, I believe that includes me and Piper.
Yeah, yeah. Well, yours are. I actually don't. Yeah, I think yours are the. Yeah, I guess you do have like fingerless gloves. Fingerless gloves are like they're not super scandalous, but they are considered a little bit on the revealing side.
Yeah.
And Piper wears a low cut top anyway, so
Yeah, Piper also wears a low cut top, so she probably is being saucy with the way she dresses intentionally. So
mine are strictly athletic.
yes, and Ursa's are strictly military.
And Aurora, she's just pretty.
She's just got like classy white gloves, you know, because she's a classy lady.
Yeah, she's a classy little girl.
All right, so the women address a woman standing on top of this pile of stones in a language that you do not recognize. I will give Alsumi, because he's probably the only person here who would know, a chance to roll and see if he recognizes the language they're speaking and knows what they're saying.
Was that an insight, a reason, or a notice?
That'd be insight.
Insight? Okay.
Mhm.
11.
That's a good roll, and I'm going to say yes, you are able to understand the language they're speaking. Now, this language doesn't actually seem to be one specific language you're familiar with, but it actually seems to be a hybrid of a few different languages. However, you are able to understand enough of the conversation to basically communicate to the others the gist of what's going on. That being that they are telling this woman atop the stairs that you all that they found trespassers on the island. They found outsiders on the island that had survived the sirens, and the woman at the top of the tower is reassuring them that she will handle things.
Okay. I'll quietly commune that to everyone who is capable of hearing me, fully aware, somewhat glad that Ursa can't hear me.
So you're like whispering it just to spite Ursa, so that he has to like lean in if he wants to know what's going
You're
on.
doing right as I can hear you, I just can't understand what you're saying.
So you're just intentionally being a dick to him.
Are we still on nets or just like bound?
You're actually still all in the net, just on the ground, surrounded.
Yay.
And he's just whispering to the girls so that you can barely hear him.
Well, okay, so they aren't bad. At least that I won't have to put in Plan B.
Mm.
I address the lady at the top of the stairs, because that's who they're all talking to,
Yeah.
and I yell out, I believe introductions are in order.
Oh, English speakers. It's been a while. But yes, I suppose you're right. This is no way to treat guests, is it? And she instructs the women to untie you all.
Thank you.
So you are now all untied. She also barks an order to the women that results in them all proceeding to search each of you for any weapons you might have on you and confiscate them.
I resist.
Alright, well, then I guess you are gonna have to tussle with one of these ladies.
Oh,
Oh.
Because I have a gun, and I'm not letting them have my gun. Right from my cold dead hands.
So weapon, so
Alright.
What kind of roll do I have to do?
Let me double check what kind of roll this
Not a
would be. I think it's just a fight check.
yeah, it's a fight versus fight, I think.
Yeah, I think this is just a fight versus fight. Because this would be like you're grappling over the gun. So yeah.
Alright, and that is a...
So it's gonna be power plus fight.
I got a 14.
She actually couldn't score higher than you in that
Oh,
respect.
yeah, it's almost as if she's a fucking random ass village bitch
Hey, you're
on some island, and I'm a trained military personnel.
and a bear.
And a bear.
Alright, so the woman who tries to take your gun, you tussle with her and
I
manage.
grab her arm, like twist it in a way where she turned around, I shove her away.
Oh, I see.
I'm not directly attacking them, I'm just keeping them away from me.
The other women all pull out their knives, only to have the woman at the top of the tower calm them and then address you directly, Ursa. I would appreciate it if you would kindly dispose of your weapons while you are in our home. It's rather rude, don't you think?
I think it's also rather rude that you're all armed while we're not.
Real quick, while all this is happening, I just wanted to make mention of the fact that Alsumi literally just pulls out his scimitar and hands it to someone.
Yeah.
He just hands it.
Just hands it over, no protests.
Aurora.
Oh wow, it's almost as if he doesn't actually need that.
Aurora.
In response to your comment, Ursa, she walks down the steps and gets right up in your face and says to you, I don't invade your home, do I?
First off, we don't know where we are. Second off, if this fucking raggedy ass, crumpled up piece of shit of a fucking fort you call a home, you drug us here.
If you're anywhere near this island, you've already invaded our territory.
We didn't invade shit, we washed up. Doesn't count as invading. We're stranded.
Please.
You see a flicker of something in her eyes. A sort of magical aura. It comes and goes for a brief moment, but you see the polite demeanor slip, and you can see this brief flicker of rage as her eyes flash red.
Okay, I'm going to have to make an intervention here.
Yeah.
Before she calms herself again and asks you one more time, please, hand us your gun. We will return it to you upon your release.
Can Aurora actually like also go and calm Ursa down because
You can make a check to see if you can calm Ursa down and get him to cooperate.
Leave me a check, I'm right here.
Alright, go
Don't
ahead.
roll a check against me, just talk to me outside. Jesus.
Hey,
You
please,
gonna use my low intellect skill against me?
please. If anything, it's for the best that we, just go by this. We don't have to be rough with each other. We can just calm down and not worry about this. Like she said, she's going to give it back. Please.
Oh, yes, because I'm going to believe some lady I just met who had us imprisoned and at knife point.
Ursa, please. Please.
She gives you the puppy dog eyes.
I swear to God, if we all end up on a fucking spike being cannibalized, I'm blaming you.
Oh, I'll
So
be
you-
happy to eat you first.
With that, he reluctantly hands the gun over to the woman.
Amy does the same thing. She has her weapon, her bow still ready. So like, here you go.
Alright. Now, with all of your weapons collected, she thanks you for your cooperation. And she welcomes you to their home. Give me a second. I hadn't actually thought the name for this island. We're gonna call this the Isle of Wander.
Ooh.
Wander or wonder?
Wander, not wonder. Wander, and then wanderers.
With an A.
So you can wander the island and then just keep wandering and see the same thing over and over. You can only wander so long in an area that you already know.
The name will make sense as we learn more about it. She welcomes
Moves.
you all to their island and thanks you for your cooperation and handing over your weapons. Does anyone want to do a notice check to see if they can recognize anything particular about this woman?
I'll try.
Yes.
All right, go ahead.
I will absolutely roll a notice check.
5.
All right.
That is plus brains, right? And
Mhm.
Notice.
that is a 9.
Alsumi gets it again. Alsumi recognizes that this woman is an echidna. This is significant because the echidnas are extinct, now apart from Knuckles. So running into an echidna woman is a very rare thing. She tells you all that she is the chiefess of this island, and that since you have agreed to cooperate, she owes you her hospitality and is going to see to it that you all are cleaned and dried and fed.
Also, would you happen to have any aspirin or brain surgeons?
She says that they do have healers on the island that can tend to your wound, and that she will be returning to your guest house later to inquire as to how you came upon their island. But for now, you are all going to go off with the village women and rest.
Alright.
I refuse to rest.
You refuse.
Ursa, you were up all night while we were up all the time while we were, sleeping. You deserve some rest, you know?
Yes, I'm going to sleep now. Out of all times, this is you all can rest. I ain't gonna do it. I don't trust random fucking island bitches.
Well, that's racist.
Ursa, can you
I'll assume he's pretty much the opposite. He's giving them like all of his respect.
Yeah, Alsumi is doing his best to be polite and respectful. Whereas Ursa is just fighting everyone the whole time.
I don't trust them. We've had nothing but bad luck since I got to this godforsaken planet.
You're xenophobic for your own planet.
You know, maybe it's not luck. Maybe it's karma.
Alright, this little wooden place here is the guest house where you all are brought. Except for Akula, since she actually has like a noticeable head injury, she is taken elsewhere to be treated. So you guys don't know where she's at the moment.
Oh, great. But this is how they start. They separate us one by one.
So she is off somewhere else visiting a healer and receiving treatment. The rest of you are brought to this hut where you are all offered dry, clean clothes and a place to bathe, and some of the women start making food for you. There are still women that are kept in the area, though, so you can't really get completely alone. They're just kind of around the house. There's always somebody close enough they can see you.
And despite my protests, Aurora was right. I am dog tired. I sit down and inadvertently pass out.
I knew it!
I do that dad thing where they just sit in the chair across their arm and then just.
I'm not tired. I'm mad.
So,
Can Aurora do something actually a little sweet?
Sure.
Since Ursa passed out, can she check if her blanket is dry? And if not, could she ask some of the locals if they have a spare blanket or something?
You show one of the locals your damp blanket, and she brings you some dry bedding.
Oh, thank you. And she's gonna put a bedding on top of Ursa so that he gets warm.
All right.
I will be passed out until I am needed. Because I am tired and I am old.
Alright, so Ursa is asleep and Akula is MIA at the moment.
I
For
just
the rest of you
realized,
guys do.
wait, what kind of sleeping arrangements would Alsumi have had in a desert place?
In that sand!
Like, would he have had, like, any sort of, like, bed or blankets or anything?
Since they were nomads, you're probably used to sleeping in tents.
If he's a bug, he just digs in the sand and buries him.
Yeah. Actually, I could see them making some kind of like dugout burrows and stuff at the various places where they camp out. But you're probably used to sleeping in makeshift campsites.
Right.
So I guess a mat on the floor is pretty standard for you.
Right.
You guys don't have to sleep on mats on the floor if you don't want to. Well, there's a bed, but there's also like padded floor areas, but there is also a room with a proper bed in it too.
Alsumi is just presented with the bed, and he's like, "No, I'll sleep on the floor."
Yeah, that's fair. The bed's large enough to share.
Do you ladies want to take the bed? I can just take. I can just sit around and maybe read the book that Haley gave me. You know.
Did you all get a wash and get changed? Or hell, if you don't want to bathe, you don't have to. But
I think Aurora.
but dry clothes are being offered.
Aurora would maybe like to try and like at least get a little clean after getting like a lot of salt water in her hair and her wings.
The dry clothing on offer is mostly very plain and lightweight linens. The boy decided he was done with his nap and is now going in the hallway.
Aw.
So, alright, so with that, everyone is all cleaned off. You guys have fresh clothes.
I was just gonna ask if Alsumi could ask one of the I don't know, tribal people,
Yes, one of the village ladies.
one of the village ladies, if they could dry off my clothes specifically.
The village woman that you attempt to ask if they can dry your clothes for you, she kind of sneers at you and ignores your statement as if she doesn't understand. But you know enough about linguistics to know that she probably can understand you just fine.
I'm going to ask her again in the language that I heard them talking to each other in before. Can I roll like a persuasion check?
Sure, go ahead. To see if you can convincingly replicate their language.
So, personality. 3. 6. I got a 10.
Alright. The woman says something quiet under her breath to the woman next to her. You don't quite understand what she's saying, but the two of them giggle at you before she takes your clothes and goes to hang them out to dry.
That's gonna go away.
With that, the chieftain arrives. She comes in through the front door and asks you all how you're doing. Ursa is still asleep in the corner and does not react to her entering.
Please excuse him. He's quite passed out. He really needed a rest. But we're all right. I think.
Unsurprising a man would sleep through such an important visit.
Well,
Hello.
Oh,
So, I've come here to inquire as to how you all have found yourself on our lovely island.
it's kind of a long story.
She sits down and gets comfortable and says, "Well, I love long stories."
All right. If anyone else wants to chip in, then that's fine. But we were out on a boat and we were looking for someone, but we kinda lost them due to the captain kinda going off course, and we ended up going to where the sirens were, and you know, we dealt with them, and then our ship was sinking, and so we had no other choice but to try and make our way to find an island somewhere. This being the island, some of us were able to nearly survive. I know that Akula and Haley might have had it the worst, really. But yeah, we got here because of a shipwreck, and really we just were trying to figure out where we were and where we can go from here.
The chief just seems kind of unimpressed with your stuttering and repeating yourself, and says that you're no storyteller, but it's understandable.
I'm sorry.
She reassures you that the ship... She says it's understandable because the sirens are known to be a tad difficult. She hopes you didn't do anything to anger them. If so, that might have been what caused your wreckage. Just silence fills the room.
Aurora is just...
Anyone have anything to add to that comment? Or are we all just gonna let that one sit there?
Are we just gonna let that slide?
Yep. Oh, Sumi is literally doing nothing.
Oh.
He's still. Like,
He's like rocking back and forth on his heels and whistling.
like,
I can't whistle. Can't do the gag because I can't whistle.
Yeah, that would have been bad.
The chief just asks you all where you come from.
I don't remember the name.
Aurora says that she is from a bug kingdom.
The Firefly Kingdom.
Yeah, the Firefly Kingdom.
I'm just gonna say that you all basically summarize where you're... You all basically answer the question more or less straightforwardly, but when Alsumi attempts to answer, the chief just cuts him off before he can finish his statement and immediately just goes on to the next point.
Oh.
She explains to you all that this island is home to many many castaways. This is a place where lost people find a new life for themselves. And she says that while they will do their best to construct a new boat to help you all get home, she would greatly appreciate if you would consider staying on the island. It's always nice to have new villagers, after all. That as long as you're here, they'll provide for you. And when your ship is ready, anyone who does decide to leave will have their belongings returned to them.
That sounds quite pleasant, madam. Thank you for the offer.
I mean, it does seem quite nice to actually be able to get a little bit of a break from all the excitement. And it is going to take a while for the boat to be ready, so I don't see why not.
Of course, if I can contribute in any way while I'm here, I would appreciate that. I don't feel I don't want to be a burden.
Oh, trust me, you won't be.
Oh, yeah, there is that.
She is getting up to leave as Piper mentions the Great Darkness and stops. She turns to Piper and she says, "Where did you hear about the Great Darkness?" The chiefess looks Piper up and down before smiling again, reassuring you all that there is no darkness on her island. That as long as you're here, you're safe. And as she goes to leave and passes by Ursa, she spots a little gleam of red poking out of one of his pockets. Ursa, by this point, has kind of started to do that migrating ass thing where he just progressively slumps further and further into the chair, causing his clothing to become disheveled and some of his pockets to kind of peek open slightly. She can see the red ring in one of his front pockets and reaches over and plucks it out.
Oh.
Did any of us notice that?
Do any
All of you roll a notice check to see if any of you see her taking the ring.
Oh.
Except for Ursa, because he's asleep.
Yeah, I'll roll a smart check.
That is a 5 overall.
I got an 11.
That is not good.
Alright, Asumi does notice her taking the ring, but she leaves immediately after grabbing it. So it doesn't really give you a lot of time to respond unless you want to run after her. You can leave the house to run after her and confront her about the stolen ring if you want.
I'm gonna keep that quiet for now.
Alright then. With that, the chiefess leaves, and as she does so, Akula is returned to the house. It's been a couple of hours. Actually, I'm going to say you guys were in there with the chiefess. You guys were in there hanging out for a while before she showed up, and the conversation lasted a bit. So let's say it's been like 2 hours. Akula is back now, and she has like a patch on the side of her head that seems to be stuck to her head with some kind of sticky paste. But she looks like she's feeling fine. Actually, better than fine. She is very energized and alert, abnormally so.
Man, they got some funny herbs on this island. You have to pay to get this sort of stuff back home.
Can I roll an insight check to see if I can tell what they gave her?
I'll give you a chance, but anything less than a 12 will get you nothing.
Out of 10.
Nope, you cannot figure it out. However, the fact you don't recognize it is suspicious in and of itself, since normally you're pretty well familiarized with plants.
Right.
Do you comment on the fact that you can't recognize what it is, or do you just stay quiet about that too for now?
I'm gonna stay quiet about that as well.
Alright. Now you guys have basically been given free reign of this little island and this guest house. So there's places to swim, to bathe, to sleep. There's food that has been brought to you guys. Dinner is ready. They've brought you guys fresh food, which consists largely of fish and fruits, but there is also some type of poultry, though you don't recognize what it is exactly.
Hey, mystery meat. Poultry. Hey, when was the last time we saw that seagull guy? I got a feather to claim.
Keeping in mind what I don't know about what they gave to Akula. I would like to investigate the food real quick.
Do an insight check on the food. Are the rest of you guys gonna eat? Sounds like Akula doesn't hesitate. Sounds like she just chomps into the first piece of unidentified fowl that she can find.
I rolled a 12 on the food.
Aurora is going to just go for any of the fruits or vegetables, really, because if anything has nectar in it, she'll eat it.
Alright, assuming you do determine that the food does appear to be safe, the unidentified fowl does look like it's just some kind of native jungle bird.
Okay. Then I'll eat as well.
Ursa, you gonna wake up to eat? Does the smell awaken you?
No, I'm currently having a nightmare about children.
Oh. Ursa is visibly having a night terror. He's shuffling and tossing and I was gonna say kind of sweaty, but let's be honest, he's very sweaty. Does anyone react to his mumbling and shuffling?
Aurora, probably, tries to calm him down.
Alright, so Aurora heads off to go comfort Ursa since she notices him. Piper is asking questions of the group, however. So everyone's sitting down to eat. Aurora's off trying to comfort Ursa, who's having a nightmare. And Piper is asking you guys about your thoughts about the chief. Did anyone else realize something about what the chief? Something what the chief. I'm assuming you're talking about what the chief was saying. I'm not going to eat. So she's asking you guys about the chief's comments about this being an island of castaways. Not sure how there can be all women unless something happened to the men, Piper says.
Yeah, this is kind of a clam fest. Huh. But, well.
I did realize that when she was talking to all of us, and she asked us where we come from. Ursa was asleep, so he didn't say anything to her. And when I tried telling her, she was very dismissive. She only seems to care about you girls.
Well, yeah, it does seem to be something like that.
Yeah.
I also told her that I didn't want to be a burden, and she told me that I wouldn't be. And that makes me worried.
The boy!
Oh, you want the mama?
Well,
So am I awake yet?
Well, it's up to you. Are you?
Has anyone woken me up?
Well, Aurora went over to check on you because you were having a nightmare, so she might have woken you up.
yeah,
Rick, I need the earbuds in order to hear the conversation.
she'll wake
Can I put you down? The thing is, if he's in my lap, I can't get my earbuds in to hear everybody.
Mm-hmm.
'Cause
Has she awoken Akula, or not Akula, Ursa?
So, Aurora, you're gonna just wake up Ursa?
Yeah, I'm gonna wake him up. Yeah, Aurora.
You are awake now, Ursa. And the first thing you notice is the smell of food.
I ain't eating this shit. I don't trust these fuckers.
So you're not gonna eat. Honey.
So I wake up and I ask, what happened? What's going on? I passed out.
I feel like we should be wary about the chieftain.
Really? You don't say. It's almost as if I didn't trust her to begin with.
I will note that I did check the food, and it does seem to be perfectly fine.
I can go a couple days without eating. It's fine.
So Ursa is still. He's still not. That assessment is not enough to convince him. This Piper won't eat it either.
And what makes you think you shouldn't trust the chief lady?
She seems very dismissive of
Yeah.
you guys, in particular.
What do you mean in particular?
She came in here a little early.
She came in here? Why did anybody wake me up?
You needed sleep, and she didn't even.
And it was not like she was threatening us or anything.
Mhm.
Yes. It's kind of important when the head of the village that's holding us hostage comes by to say hello.
Piper says to you that there seems to be a significant lack of man on the.
Yeah, I noticed that too. Not sure why.
She asked us where we all hail from, and when I tried telling her where I'm from, she seemed very dismissive of me, and she didn't even bother trying to wake you up.
Well, then she's sexist. I'm not surprised. She might handpick these maidens. Which, all the more we shouldn't trust her. We should leave as fast as possible because I'm with the princess, and they've been known to be taken kidnapped. And if I was some island-ass, village-leading bitch, I'd want a princess for my own.
I mean.
Piper says to you, Ursa, there's no way all the cast. She says to you that the chieftain told you guys that it was an island of castaways, but there's no way all the castaways could be women.
Unless they got rid of the men afterwards.
And she's suspicious. Piper is also suspicious as to what they might have done to Akula. Granted, Akula's right next to you and can hear your statement. So, Akula, do you have a response to that?
Well, I'm kind of too blazed out to really notice.
Fucking 420 it out.
Oh, shit! Stuff in her face. She got the munchies.
I will let you guys all know that I have fairly extensive knowledge about herbs and remedies, and yet I cannot tell what it was that they gave to Akula.
Haley is, she's not been really engaging in the conversation much, but she decided to try some of the meat and is now having an allergic reaction. Does anyone notice?
Oh, can Aurora?
I look over at the tall human. He's the tallest one in the room. And I notice her turn like fucking puffing up. Like, oh god.
Haley,
Do you have an EpiPen?
Allergic reaction to something?
Yeah, she's allergic to shellfish. She decided to try and eat some of the food, probably the poultry, but it still caused her to flare up.
Yeah,
I
I'm.
mean, it was a tropical island. Most of their food is probably fish.
oh no.
Yeah,
If you
well,
have an EpiPen on her.
Ursa's asking you if you have an EpiPen, Haley. Do you have one in your backpack?
She tries to breathe. I breathe, so Aurora, can you please check? Check.
Yeah, I'll check.
So you gesture towards your backpack, and Aurora runs over to check your backpack for an EpiPen.
Do I roll to see?
Nah, you know what? Go ahead.
Wait, is she about to take damage from allergic reaction?
The boy wants outside.
Yeah, depending on whether or not she finds the EpiPen quick enough.
That is 2.
Oh, right. So by the time you find the EpiPen and get it to her, she's taken 2 points of damage from this allergic reaction.
No.
Okay, so.
But she has the medicine has been administered.
Yes. She's able to take her EpiPen and she is alright. But between that and almost drowning earlier, I imagine she's very winded.
Outside? Put your pants on.
I imagine Harry just wait. I just have bad luck today, I guess. Like, my god.
Building actual, like, people.
Yes, those are various women surrounding the house.
Okay, but they're
Akula, are you going to try and inform Ursa that you saw the chiefess steal from him? Or are you just going to keep that to yourself still?
Was
I
What now?
if I remember correctly, I didn't come in until after she did that.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
also,
Who noticed?
It was
No, Akula was the only person who noticed. Are you going to
No.
mention it?
It was
Alsumi was the only person who knows.
Sorry, Alsumi. I meant to say Alsumi. I'm sorry, I got your names mixed up for a second. They're similar. Alsumi's the only one who noticed her steal from Ursa. Are you going to mention it?
The main reason why I'm hesitant to inform Ursa that she stole from him is because he might go completely apeshit and just start literally killing everyone on this island.
I'm not allowed to kill.
You're worried that he's gonna do something brash.
Acts first and thinks later.
Alright, so you don't mention it. You still just keep that to yourself for now.
Because I don't want him to go apeshit.
Alright, I assume you inform Ursa about the chiefess's offer to build a boat for you guys to leave and how your stuff will be returned once the boat is completed.
Yeah.
As well as her offer for you to stay and become residents of the island, should you so choose.
Should we?
Whoa, I ain't staying here. No, I gotta get that king. I gotta make him answer for stepping on my beach.
Yeah.
I will make mention of the fact that the way she said that we could stay if we wanted was very sort of roundabout and almost like she was trying to use reverse psychology or something. Because she never really directly said that. She just sort of implied it.
I suppose that's your assessment to that conversation. That's an assessment.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever. I'll take the bitches off of her boat, but let's just get out of here as fast as possible.
He didn't say how long a boat would take, though the conversation kind of implied it might be a day or two.
Well, if it's going to at least be a day or two, we might as well try and at least be a little careful with what we say and probably even what we do. We might want to keep hold of some of our stuff in case anything goes missing.
Probably a wise idea.
What did she just say?
She was saying that you guys should all keep a close eye on your things to make sure nothing goes missing.
Of course.
So, I stand up and I go outside.
Alright, you step outside and there's clusters of women hanging around outside. A number of them look at you and whisper to each other and giggle.
He follows him.
I walk over.
Yeah.
Hello, ladies.
They laugh harder.
What did he just say?
He said, "Hello, ladies."
Hello. Oh,
Not in like a perverted or flirty way, just hello.
Hello, ladies. And they laugh.
How long? I've been wondering about this island. How long have you all been here?
Again, they kind of whisper to each other, and one of them, in a very accented but hard to identify accent, explains that her mother had landed on this island when she was young. She was born here.
What about your father?
They whisper to each other before she answers that she doesn't have a father.
Not being an asshole, I just assume like she doesn't have a father like I don't have a father.
Yeah, so you decide not to question that answer.
So, are all of you washed up here?
One woman comments on having been here for over a decade. Another one admits she's only been here for the past 5 years.
quick question.
Another one has been here for 30.
Shouldn't Akula be inside the building?
No, they don't have to stay in the house. You're allowed out onto the little island area. It's just wherever you go, you're supervised.
But I thought Akula was stuffing her face.
Yeah, Cool, I think, is still eating.
You can grab handfuls of food and walk around.
Yeah, she's stoned. I wouldn't be shocked if she's walking around with a big ass chicken leg, just like, yeah. That's the islands. Those are trees and grass, and that's water. I like water. Water's nice.
I asked the group of ladies, so, if you're all castaways, why are you all women?
Again, there's a bit of muttering between them before the oldest women in the group, the woman who's been here for 30 years, answers that men don't usually like to stay. Men don't usually choose to stay. That's the answer she gives you.
That's pretty harsh. Who would abandon their wife?
You'd be surprised. Men do it all. As a man, you would be surprised, I suppose, but men do it all the time. Women know better.
Okay. Sure.
She turns to the girls in the group and asks, I'm sure you all have your horror stories.
Right.
Stories of, being abused or taken advantage of or abandoned by men.
Women do that too. I walk away.
May I chip in?
Yeah, sure.
Harry chips in, stuttering. Harry chips in, it was like, well, not all men do that, women do that too. My mother abandoned me and my father when I was very young. So, to be honest, I trust men sometimes more than I do women.
The old woman sort of shakes her head and calls you. She sort of shakes your heads and gives you this sort of condescending, sweet child.
Okay.
But doesn't exactly explain why she thinks you're wrong.
Officially, they have lost every ounce of respect Alsumi ever had for them.
Althumi is done trying to respect these women. Are you going to go back inside with Ursa? Because Ursa just got tired of this conversation and
I'm about to respect some women right now.
Oh, God damn it. That would not help your case here.
I'm stronger than all of them.
Yeah, but you know that would prove their point.
So,
I'm just saying.
Lincoln isn't to prove or not to prove or not prove a point about sexism. It's to get the fucking bad guy. I'll break a couple arms if I have to.
I'm just saying.
Anyway.
So are you going to follow Ursa and go be in your little grumpy corner together?
I'm gonna go to fucking Aurora.
Oh?
Actually, Alsumi, despite almost completely hating these people now, is going to continue keeping up this facade of niceness and politeness as he wanders around the island, scouting absolutely every inch of it.
So you're just gonna look around to the best of your ability.
Yes, I'm going to scan the entire area. And
For now, this map you're on is the only area that they're gonna let you have access to at the moment. So you can walk around on this little island and the one next to it. You can get a look at the main road, but they stop you if you try to go down either end of it.
Aurora.
Although you notice that as you are looking around examining things, a few of the women are examining you especially closely.
Wait, quick question. Am I wearing, the clothes they gave me, or am I wearing nothing?
You're wearing what they gave you, which would be loose white.
I'm still in my soaking wet battle gear.
Oh yeah, Ursa hasn't changed. He's still wearing a damp gun uniform.
Oh, that actually reminds me. Alsumi is going to very politely ask one of the women where it was that they hung up his clothes and how long they think it'll take before they're dry.
They giggle to each other.
Do I have to roll a socialized check?
No, you don't. They giggle to one another and they point to an area behind the guest house before telling you that it might take a while.
Okay.
Look at these bitches.
Alsumi places his hand together and bows a little at them and says, "Thank you for your time," and then walks away.
Piper's being a creep.
Piper walks up to Alsumi and whispers to him, if you get a chance, try and see if any of them got any patches like Elsumi or some other body mark. Piper tries to look at one of the women for any suspicious marks.
So like just fucking creepily checking out all the women.
At this point, they probably just think she's a lesbian.
Are pretty fucking common on this island.
Like at this point, they probably just think that you're checking them out. In fact, one of the women shoots you a flirty glance back when she catches you staring a little bit too closely at her body.
There is no way that there is a single woman on this island who is straight.
That's funny. Anyway, so I go up to Fuzzbutt.
Just admiring your dress.
Yep.
I go up to Aurora, be like, I don't like this place, princess. You're a leader. What's this lady? What's this vibes the lady's giving you?
I don't know. She's rather off. There's something off about her, and I don't know if we could fully trust her, but if there's only one way to get a boat, then I guess we'll try and somewhat get along, but we're not staying. I don't want to stay here for too long.
Alright, so I'm feeling myself up, and I'm like, I really don't like that she took my gun. And then I notice that something else is missing.
Also, he didn't tell you because he didn't want you to blow up.
And I look at you and I say, where's my ring?
Your ring?
The red ring. The thing that gets us home.
Oh no.
And of course, Ursa doesn't actually know that Elsumi knows.
No, but if I did, I'd kick your ass.
For not telling him sooner.
Which is why Elsumi's just gonna, he found out. It's fine. I'm not gonna tell him that I know.
Could it be that maybe someone pickpocketed you or something?
Maybe.
Oh,
Was no one watching?
that's the unfortunate part. He doesn't know who took it.
I don't know.
Meaning
Well, technically, all the women were watching. They haven't stopped watching this whole time.
That sounds very good.
I mean,
I go up, I run back outside to one of the women and say, have any of you seen a small red ring?
The women all shake their heads and shrug at you.
The most
What's that the thief would say?
Can
Elsumi, however, can see you going around questioning people about the ring.
It's a very important ring!
Elsumi, do you act or do you stay quiet? They're seriously
I'm about to
contemplating.
boom you off a fucking cliff.
He's like really considering whether or not he should say something.
like if
Oh.
anyone knows, it would be really nice because it wasn't important.
Like, on the one hand, you could tell him who stole the ring. On the other hand, he might beat the shit out of you. Decisions.
Or all of the women.
Wouldn't be good either.
Why not?
You don't know how many women are on this island.
So?
You're outnumbered.
I outstrength them all.
Mm.
I have a base fight skill of like fucking, let's see, 1,
Your
2,
base power is 6.
plus a fight skill of 2,
Yeah.
plus a minimum roll of 1. That's at least a 9 that they have to beat.
Elsumi's thought process at this point is, if I don't tell him, or if I do tell him, he might attack me.
No, I would not in actual game. I'd just be angry that you didn't tell me sooner. I'd figuratively kick your ass, because why the hell did you say nothing? Or stop them?
No, I mean, this is just his thoughts.
Yes. But his thought is if I tell him, he'll beat my ass. The other thought?
If I don't, he might try attacking every single woman here, and that would be worse, actually.
Oh,
So,
so you're gonna go tell him and just take the ass kicking.
he's going to just sort of like tell him as. Yeah, this is difficult because he doesn't want any of the other women to hear him.
Alright, so you're gonna take Ursa and pull him aside to a quiet corner so that you can talk to him.
Because also I can't just whisper to him because apparently he's still fucking deaf.
Alright, so he grabs you by the arm and pulls you inside to talk to you.
Yeah, and then I tell him
That you saw the chiefess take it from his pocket.
I noticed the chieftain take the ring out of your pocket as she was leaving, and I didn't want to tell you because I didn't want you to go on a rampage killing everyone in sight. And immediately upon finishing that statement, he's going to bolt outside, run around, climb up a tree.
She's like, don't be mad. Don't be mad. I didn't want to tell you at first, because I knew you'd be mad, and you'd do something rash.
But don't be
But the
mad.
chief just took your ring, and then...
Since someone else is currently in the building with me, I angrily grab a chair and throw it out a window. While screaming. When I walk back outside, I just say there was a spider.
Wait, that was a spider?
Yes.
What
All
kind,
right.
what kind of spider was it? Was it a jumping spider? Oh, they're so cool.
It was a camel spider.
Oh.
Wait, that's all Sumi. Wait, you didn't squish it, did you?
Alright. I lean into Aurora and say, the chieftain stole the red ring. We need to be careful.
Yeah.
Oh.
Meanwhile, Haley wanted to have a further conversation with that 30-year-old, with that like 40-year-old woman.
Right, so let's go to that.
All right, so we're gonna cut over to Haley's conversation with the older woman, who at this point is sitting on a tree stump by the beach.
Okay.
Okay, so, Harry, excuse me. It was just by the lady and just starts added questions like, are there any humans here, or am I the only one? And how come you don't like men, if I can ask? Harry is very curious about their way of thinking.
Well, to the first question, she answers that you're the first human they've found on their island, but that you shouldn't worry. The island accepts women of all shapes and sizes and species. That your being a human is of no concern to them. And as far as their dislike of men, she explains to you that it is in women's nature to be supportive and nurturing. But men are naturally violent, destructive creatures, and they corrupt women. They infect them with their poison.
Interesting thing to say, coming from someone that I suspect of murdering men.
Well, we'll just have to see.
And they don't know anything about what I'm really like.
Yeah. Oh,
Shut
wow.
up. What do these women think about transgender people?
I imagine these guys are probably TERFs. Either that, or they see transgender women as being like, you know, the only good men, and transgender men are viewed as traitors.
Oh,
Wow. Wow.
that's a bit harsh.
We're done.
But I don't imagine they have the most woke opinions of trans people. But yes, basically, she believes, at least this person, but you can probably assume that much of the island holds similar beliefs, believes that essentially all the bad aspects of human behavior are inherently masculine. And the only reason women ever display these negative character traits is because of the influence of the men in their lives.
Oh, I see.
It's all the
I see.
fault of dads and husbands and boyfriends corrupting the women around them.
Imagine Harry would say something like, well, from being raised from excuse me for stuttering. Imagine Harry would say like, well, I was raised by my dad and I turned out perfectly okay, but it's interesting to see your guys' way of thinking. And then I would imagine that Harry be a little bit naive. He shows the lady a picture of her mother. It was like, here's a picture of my mom, and I kind of wish I got to know her a little bit better or see her again.
She says that your mother seems like she was looks like she was a kind woman, and says that your grandmother must have been a great woman, for behind every good man is a great.
Yeah, Harry would be like, yeah, my grandma was a as a decent person. But I kind of wish I got to see my mom. I don't know where she is, and I don't even know if she's still alive. So
The older woman gives you a hug and reassures you that should you decide to stay on the island, you'll have a dozen mothers who will all love and dote on you.
Aw. I imagine hearing Tammy being excusing herself and thanking her for the conversation as she goes back to the house to basically have a mental breakdown. So
Does anyone notice Haley crying as she heads back into the house?
I mean,
Notice checks for everyone she passes by.
Notice checks, okay.
Everyone do a notice check to see who notices
I
her.
noticed shit.
He did not.
1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
I got a 10.
I'm gonna say that both Akula and Alsumi and Piper notice. All three of you guys notice. Yeah.
I'm gonna go say bruh and walk over to Miss Congeniality over there.
You mean talking to the crying girl? Or, yeah, she's going into the house.
I'm gonna talk to the old lady.
Oh, you're gonna go talk to the old lady.
her cry.
Oh, yeah, you're gonna talk to the woman who made her cry. You're still stoned, and still carrying a chicken leg. They're like really
Whoa.
big. They're not chicken. They're some kind of bird. It's a very big bird leg. It's like a giant ass turkey leg.
Stone Shark Lady with a bird leg just walking up to an old lady like, yo, bitch, you want to go?
Let me use my own words. Thank you very much. Yo, what was that all about? That Haley doesn't do that. What you do?
The old woman reassures you that they simply had a heart-to-heart, and the girl got emotional. But that's understandable. Emotions tend to arise when confronted with genuine love and affection.
Yeah, but genuine love and affection or whatever doesn't really make people cry like that. I mean, she was kind of hurt. Love don't hurt. That ain't really love. As I try to munch on my chicken bone.
She tells you that she asks you how your head is feeling.
It's feeling like a lot of things. But man,
She
this
suggests
place,
that perhaps you should lie down.
I don't know. I've been lying down a lot. I mean, I was on the beach talking radio stuff, and then I slept for a bit, kinda. And then you took me to your hospital tent or whatever, and maybe there was herbs, I think. I got a bandage, but that was a thing. I don't know. I've been lying down a lot. I need to get out and move, get going. So you got a boat or something? I got a score to settle with some guy.
She tells you that the chiefess is working on building a boat for you all to leave, for all of you who wish to leave. However, it will take a couple of days for the boat to be constructed. In the meantime, however, if you simply wish to move, there is a local island sport that will be played tomorrow in the town, if you would like to go participate in that.
Don't have to ask me twice. I'm gonna win. And you know what? I'm gonna take something from it. I gotta get a keepsake, a trophy. That's why I do things, sis.
Well, she reassures you that their island does have a rather lovely reward for the winners.
Count me in.
So she has successfully distracted you from your question by getting you hooked on island sports. Woo, sports! Do you want
Okay, and my question apparently half satisfied, I stumble back to the rest of the party.
Meanwhile, Haley and Piper are discussing. Piper asks Haley if she's all right. Haley looks to her, nods, says she'll be okay before crying again about how she misses her mom, and setting her picture on the table.
I do hate that the sneak skill is tied to luck.
Yes.
I have one luck.
All right, I'm gonna have to go to bed soon, so
Yeah,
can we
so
wrap
this
this
is
up?
probably a good place to wrap up. But I'm gonna say that Piper, I imagine, is probably pretty decent at comforting Haley. Asumi also noticed that Haley was distressed, but I don't know if he actually went in to try and comfort her or not.
He was about to, but then he
And I'm contemplating the murder of the whole island.
he was about to go comfort Haley, but then he noticed Piper going.
Alright, so he just leaves that to Piper. Like, I'm not really very good at this, so I'm just gonna let her handle it.
Yeah, and he also tried. Since it's been a few minutes, he very safely reapproaches Ursa to let him know that he is desperately waiting for a moment in which he.
Oh
can
no.
Before we wrap up the session, Piper, is there anything in particular you'd like to say to Haley? She's crying about how she misses her mother. Is there anything in particular you'd like to respond to that with? Personal anecdotes or life philosophy or anything like that?
What's you looking at me for?
So
Why?
Piper, it seems, doesn't have anything in particular to say about the mommy issues, more just like offering a shoulder to cry on and suggesting that it's probably still for the best that they try to keep their wits about them and stay in the Islanders' good graces.
Alrighty then.
Yeah.
That was interesting play. We got some fucking island bitches. Thieving island bitches. They have my gun and my ring.
Oh, you know what? Ice got us involved in a sporting event. We win, we can take everything as trophies and hell out.
We don't even know what they're giving trophy. It could be a fucking sack of coconuts.
Yeah,
We
he just made an
have to win
assumption.
extra good.
They got
Yeah,
a lonely bunch of
I'm just standing there like, I hope it's a fucking contact sport.
Yeah, and some of you guys find out about Haley's past with her mom, and she decided to become an emotional.
Oh, also, you're still puffy as fuck.
Yeah, Haley is not having a good day.
Almost drowned. Allergic reaction. Fucking trauma. Just some sad, blubbering, half-dead puffy mess. Just.
Red and puffy and wet with tears in a corner. Piper's just over there being like, there, just try to hold it together.
Yeah, she needs a hug. She needs a hug.
Did they take Piper's flute?
I do not think so.
I think they took everything.
Because
Well, they didn't take everything because she still had her
They took
backpack
the
with her
weapons.
everything. They took weapons.
Actually, yeah, I still has their flute.
Piper probably still has her flute because I don't think they know what that flute can do.
so yeah,
They don't know what Piper can do.
They don't know. They would have no way of knowing that the flute had those properties. And they were mostly concerned with confiscating weapons.
Let's wrap it up. We got some people who have to go to bed.
All right. So that is the end of the session for tonight. I hope you guys all had fun. Cool.
Thank you kindly.
Cool.
Well, then, talk to you guys later.
Talk to you guys
Talk
later.
to you
Good night.
later.
See ya.
Good night.
Have a good night.